Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you very much for your questions. Craig with me here in the studio. We've got Gab Marcotti, Frank LeBeuf, and Stevie's a bit chilly, hence his hair standing up on end.
Yeah.
It's frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen in place in this, Steve. Blooming heck, mate. Gab.
Haircuts are expensive around Connecticut.
Yeah.
It's the inflation, see.
How much do you pay for your haircut, Stevie?
$22 plus tip.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's $21 too much. Well, that job you're getting.
We know it's going to be, what, two on the side,
Frank,
three on the top?
Don't encourage him.
Don't encourage him.
He's just jealous he doesn't get a haircut.
What's that in my head? What's that?
Yeah.
What's
Candy
that?
floss.
He's holding on. Just don't give the top shot. Don't
All
get
right, I'll tell you what
the
then.
up too high.
Hey, turn around and face the other way.
Nobody wants to see my backside.
Right, we'll do that.
Right, let's get on with it. Gab, is Morata off to Barcelona?
Well, obviously, if the Vlahovic deal goes through, on paper, they'd be getting another center forward. But I don't think Juve see it that way. I think they would like to keep Morata just to have another striking option there. Morata can play with Vlahovic. Barcelona, we know we're interested in him. I think the difficult thing, though, from Barcelona is that the clock is ticking. And again, to get Morata, I think they need to shed more costs, which means getting somebody else off the books. And I think that's difficult with just a few days left. But certainly, I'd be very surprised if Morata is back at Juve next summer.
Stevie, the other day after Barcelona against Alaves, Xavi, Frankie de Jong and Jordi Alba said in the post-game interview that the field was frozen and it was really tough to cope with that. How exactly do these conditions really impact the teams playing?
Well, it's impossible to play properly on a field that's frozen. You know, number one, you're always concerned about your balance. So you kind of move. Your movement is you're moving gingerly because you're not sure whether you're going to go flat on your face or slip. You know, the fact that there's frozen patches on the field means that the ball, when it hits it, will go twice as fast off it as opposed to normal grass. I mean, there are so many things. Can you imagine falling over on your shoulder on a frozen field? I mean, there are just so many problems that you just don't normally have to deal with. Well, put it this way: you shouldn't be playing on a field that has frozen patches on it. Put it that way.
We played at Southampton's old ground, the Dell, years ago, when I was at Derby, and half the pitch was frozen, all the way down the length of the pitch.
Okay.
And the other half at the far side, was frozen, and this side was fine because of the stadium, the stand, the shadow and the sun. I said to the ref, we went out for a pitch inspection, and to be honest, I didn't really want to play anyway. And I said, we need to call this off. It's a lottery. And he wanted to play it, and we played it. But it was a lottery. As soon as you stepped onto that other half of the pitch, you couldn't keep your feet. And of course, the fans in the stands, they didn't know this.
Right.
And they were wondering what the hell was going on. I mean, it was just crazy. But the ref, he obviously wanted to get some sort of payday bonus for playing, so he played it. But it's a pointless exercise.
Frank, you played on a frozen pitch before?
Oh yes, I played 5 years for Strasbourg, and every winter, because it's only when I played it for Chelsea that I realized that some pitch could be heated, and we didn't have that in France, and so I played like 3 or 4 games a year every season for 5 years on the frozen pitch, and the same as Craig mentioned, on the stadium was frozen. Half of the stadium was frozen on the length. Because of the shadow of the stand, so it was impossible to play. You lose your balance. It's like playing on the concrete, even worse because you can't stop. When you want to stop and change direction, you're going to slip and you're going to be on the floor. So it's a real nightmare. And well, if they once in a time it happens in Spain, that's not a big deal. We used to have that every winter.
To Gab, how many goals do you think?
We played.
Go on, Steve.
Dan, we played an FA Cup tie, a third round tie, at York City in '84, I believe it was. And back then, the geniuses thought that if you put straw on the field, it would stop it freezing. And so 2 days before, the complete area, the complete pitch was covered in straw, and they took the straw off the morning of the game and said, right, you're okay. What's a lot of nonsense. Honestly, it was like skating on ice. It was a joke.
That seems to be. I think that might have been the last time he'd had his hair cut as well.
Well, you think so?
I tell you what, he could have put my hair. He could have put my hair on the field instead of straw. They'd done a better job.
He needs to get it cut. He's going to Florida.
He's gone on holiday, isn't he?
As I said,
He's gone.
Some of us got enough to put on a field.
Listen, look at this. I can't stop it grow. It's growing everywhere.
Oh, yeah, we don't need more details of that. To Gab, how many goals do you think that Vlahovic is going to score for Juventus this season?
Assuming, again, he moves to Juventus because this deal isn't done yet. It's funny because on paper, you figure you move to a better team, you expect to score more goals. The way Allegri's been playing this season, I'm not entirely sure. With a fake Chiesa, with a happy Dybala around him, with Locatelli teeing him up with those through balls, I might go as far and say 15 and half a season. With the current Juve, honestly, I think they'd be happy just with like 10 or 12 between now and the end of the season, as long as it gets them in the top four and maybe even a run in the Champions League.
Let's switch gears slightly. With all the talk of Craig becoming the next Bear Grylls, that's of course with your new beard and going off camping in the woods.
Went outside last night.
Yeah, that wasn't voluntary. What's the scariest encounter you've ever had with an animal? Wow.
Oh, don't even give him the time of day to start a story.
Why can't Stevie tell a story?
Don't even give him.
Stevie, have you got a story?
Well, I've got two. I think the one he's referring to is when he started running away, when that kid on the bear was chasing us. I think I've told that story before.
Yep.
I actually had another one myself. I was walking the dog up by the reservoir, and there's bears and all kinds up there. So I got back to the car, and I had left a poo bag right in the middle of the path, about 40 yards from where the car was parked. So I had that dilemma: do I just leave it, or do I go and get it? So of course, being a good guy, I went and got it. Anyway, I got to the poo bag, and as I got there, a bear was about 10 foot away from me, hanging onto a tree, growling at me.
Well, of course it growled at you. You left a poo bag
littering
in its area.
Yeah, I tell you what. Unfortunately, I didn't jump or scream at it. I just calmly started walking backwards, keeping my eye on it, and it sort of made its way down the bottom of the tree, and then I just turned and went for it. Back to the car.
Did you need a poo bag after that, Stevie?
It was a trash bag, not a poo bag.
Okay, Frank, animal encounters?
Yes, and I was in LA and I was with a lady, and we decided to go to, it was at night, and we decided, I don't know why, we decided to go in the forest where we're close to Los Angeles, and I was with my motorbike, and suddenly, and suddenly we faced. No. You won't have the whole story. You won't have the whole story. Because nothing happened. In fact, because as soon as we reached the place, we faced like two wild dogs, and we had to drop back, and fortunately my bike was powerful enough to get to get out of the problem. So nothing happened, guys. It's just to mention the story with the wild dogs.
Gab, animal encounters.
I hope it was a motorbike.
So Yeah, so many
Is that
years
push
ago,
bike or a
I was
motorbike?
in.
Go on, Gab.
No, it's a critical detail to the story because I'm just imagining Frank pedaling off on a normal bike, on a little push bike, away from the wild dogs.
Tandem. He's on a tandem.
Motorbike,
yeah.
but not a bike.
No, I was in South Africa years ago in the countryside, and they have these ostrich farms there, and you can visit the ostrich farm, and they're kept in these sort of large outdoor pens. And back then, this was before you had phones, you had cameras on your phone. I borrowed at the time my wife's fancy camera, and I wanted to take a picture. And so, because I'm obviously taller than she is, I'm sort of leaning over the pen to take a picture of the faraway ostriches, not realizing that ostriches actually move very, very fast, and they're very, very vicious. And from the side, this massive ostrich suddenly comes at me, and I dropped the camera inside the pen, and then I had to wait forever for the ostriches to sort of get away, to get it back out. But this was before YouTube, so then later I go on YouTube and there's all sorts of videos of ostriches chasing humans. I mean, honestly, you could have nightmares about this because they're really big, they're really vicious.
Brilliant.
Dan, I have another
can't believe
story,
you
by
didn't
the way. I'm
know
sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just you.
And
Is
it's
it?
a nice one. No, it's a nice one. It was in Melbourne. I was with Lilian Thuram, and we visited the zoo, and we went to see kangaroos. And the guy offered us the possibility of going into the cage with the big cage with the kangaroos. So we were there, and I have some pictures of it where we see the kangaroo, and it's nice and everything. And suddenly the kangaroo got up and tried to smash the two of us, like boxing. Well, we were lucky. He missed us, but that was a hell of an adventure, I tell you, because I think he would have knocked us. Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, you know what, Frank? I'm sorry. I would imagine that a big, fully grown ostrich is far scarier than a little kangaroo trying to punch two grown men professional athletes. No?
Who wins a fight, an ostrich or a kangaroo?
Yeah,
Kangaroo.
I don't know.
You're a
Easy.
kangaroo, Stevie. Good. This is a high caliber analysis here.
Easy.
Okay, in the wake of the incredible
Well, the
NFL
kangaroo will
playoffs.
just feint. The kangaroo will feint to go with the left and get you with the right.
There you are. Bosh.
Yeah.
Nice style. In the wake
Ostrich
of
will just call it that.
In the wake of the incredible NFL playoffs this past weekend, how did the Eagles get on this week? Oh, they're out, aren't they? Yeah, that's it. What is the most incredible game you played in, saw in person?
You know this is not the question.
What?
It needs time.
Oh, so you should have, He said the producer said he tried to call you earlier to preempt.
Called me 5 times. He's doing me head in already.
You didn't answer. Frank,
I did answer. I called him back after he texted me 4
the
times.
most incredible game you played in, saw in person?
Well, the most incredible game it would be the World Cup final. It would be the quarter final of the FA Cup with Chelsea, where we were losing 2-0 against Liverpool, and we won 4-2. That was crazy, and we won because of Mark Hughes, and I think Craig was there. The game that I saw. No, nothing that I recall. I like Craig, call me before and I think about it.
Come on, Mr. Producer. And he gave his name away there.
Well, Mike, you can say his name. Why? What do you think? He's going to get hate mail?
Yeah,
Who's going to track him down?
Stalker.
Stevie?
We could start stalking him now off the back of this.
I said it was a funny one. I went scouting to Costa Rica, and I went to see him again with Saprissa, and I can't remember the team they were playing, but it was a small team, and of course for them to get any sort of result was huge. Anyway, the small team was winning 2-1, and there was 5 minutes to go, and the small team's goalkeeper got injured and had to come off. So one of the players on the field went in goal. A sub came on, and one of the players went in goal. And so there was about 10 seconds left to go in the game, and the ball's played to the goalkeeper, and he puts his foot on it, and he bends over. So he's bending over, and he's got his hands like this, about 12 inches either side of the ball, and he's looking at the Saprissa centre forward going, come on then, and whenever you get here I'm just going to pick it up and I'm going to waste more time. Anyway, of course it was a bit of a standoff, and eventually the Saprissa guy went for the ball, and the goalie went like that to pick the ball up and missed it, and the guy put it in the back of the net. It was 2-2. The referee blew the whistle. It was like, I mean, you couldn't make it up. Try to be
Even
too
my
clever.
hair, I tell you what, even my hair's growing the length of time it took you to tell that story. Holy smoke.
Oh, it's funny, I can still see it now. It's not like that. Go on then. Go on
Stevie,
then.
tell us again. I never got it. I missed the start. Tell us again.
What springs to mind? Anything?
No, nothing really. I tell you what, one that just springs to mind is I wasn't there in person.
What are you doing with your arms?
I'm moving them about.
What are you doing?
You know, I've got a sore hand at the moment. I'll have an even sorer one in a minute if you don't shut up. The Brazil 1982 World Cup, Brazil, Italy.
Oh, it's your VHS, isn't it?
VHS, Paolo
VHS,
Rossi,
you're 82, VHS.
Socrates and Junior. Sorry, Falcao.
There we go.
Only to be undone by
Falcao.
Italy.
Final
We need to
question.
get those questions in advance, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'm not in charge of them, am I? I just read them when I sit down.
And Socrates. Socrates, Craig. Yeah,
Socrates.
For Gab, what is worse? Ketchup on pasta, pineapple on pizza, or well done steak?
Oh.
Well, it's
All of
easy.
it.
It's ketchup on. It's all really bad, but ketchup on pasta is just completely nonsensical and it's just simply wrong. And look, you know my thoughts about pineapple on pizza, but if some people want to co-opt pizza, culturally appropriate it for their purposes, and they think it tastes good with pineapple and ham, whatever, that's your prerogative. Equally, if you're Ali Moreno and you like your steak extremely well done, for whatever reason, like it's freaking beef jerky or something, that's your prerogative. But come on, ketchup on pasta makes no sense. I don't think anybody, I don't even think that's a thing. I think it's just something like, I don't think anybody over the age of 8 has ever even actually done that.
Right.
Have they?
Bearing in mind, I've sat in a restaurant with, I'm going to name him. Shall we name him?
Steve McManaman.
Steve McManaman.
Macca.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, you know this story. He lifted the French fries and put them on top of the penny pasta.
Yeah.
Right. Are you then allowed to put
No.
ketchup on?
Oh, yes.
Because
No, but Craig, even Macca then stopped short of putting Heinz on top of the pasta and the fries, right? So there are
did.
limits even to this.
It'd be great if he did.
when I saw him do that,
Hey, Gab.
it was brilliant.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, Stevie's off.
Gav, can you put fries in soup? That's acceptable.
You put fries in soup.
Yeah.
I don't genuinely see why you would do that, because normally if you eat a French fry, you would want sort
Why
of.
not?
I'm
Would it
sensing you
not
may
just
have
become
done this, Stevie.
soggy?
Stevie, I'm sensing you.
my God.
I'm sensing you may have done this. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's.
Why?
Why?
Why not? I mean,
What's
why?
wrong with you?
I don't
What's
see
wrong?
why not.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Why not? Who puts who in their right
I don't know,
mind?
taste,
You're supposed to dip bread in
culture,
soup and
taste,
Tastes all right to
style.
me.
I don't know.
Well, what's the
Why did you name a
What's the
few?
difference of dipping bread to putting fries in them? What's the difference?
It's different to dipping bread.
Because
Yeah.
See?
When you go to a
Got you there,
See?
when you go to a restaurant and they might bring you some
I
soup.
want to die right now. I want to die.
They may bring you some bread
Really,
with the soup.
Love it.
And the starters. They don't remember any restaurant bringing me fries to dip in the soup.
Frank, last word on this.
Would you mind getting the fries to dip in the French onion soup?
Frank, last word on this to you, Frank. Ketchup on pasta, pineapple on pizza, or well done steak.
Bread and fries. What's the difference?
What do you want to ask me, Dan? Do you want a last word on that? I just want to throw up right now, you know. And I love Stevie, but really, Stevie, I don't want to defend the French fries because they're not from France, they're from Belgium. But really, don't do that to the Belgian people. You know, you're insulting them. You know, come on, don't put French fries in the soup. That's a question of culture, taste, style, way of living your life. No, that's impossible. I think there's only one man in the entire planet who's ever dipped French fries in soup, and I think it's just a coincidence he's on this show tonight.
Oh, man, is it a real thing? Oh, dear. So the big questions we've addressed today is do you dip French fries in soup, and who wins a fight between a kangaroo and an ostrich? Good. Give us the sports Emmy now. ESPN FC is back tomorrow. Be sure to join us. We'll be looking back at some football. What? Ivory Coast against Egypt. Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.